Hey everyone, Livy here, back with another video, and today I'm going to show you a deck that I kind of stumbled upon, and I'm glad that I did because I don't know, this feels like a hidden gem. It's very interesting how that works. So, this is called the Pure Magic Oracle. This is by Andres and Gracia. And believe it or not, this is a rock pool deck, okay? So in the US, it costed me $24.95, so basically $25. In the UK, it goes for $18.99. Don't know how much that conversion would be in Canada, US. However, Canada, Australia. But anyways, it comes in a box that's like this. It has one of those side slippies. As you can see, it slipped out pretty well. This is the back of the box. And the reason why I want to talk about this deck is I was in the market for another Oracle. I went to my local metaphysical store. I felt like doing a little bit of retail therapy. And I stumbled upon this deck. And I was very, very surprised by this deck. So I wanted to show this off because I haven't seen this deck around. I haven't, guys. I didn't know anybody who had this deck. And so that's like kind of a surprise to me. If someone does, please tell me, but I haven't seen anybody using this deck. But the funny thing about it is if you look in this guidebook, this rock pool guidebook, and you go over here, right, you can see that this deck was published in 2021. But I don't really see anybody, again, who's like talking about this deck. And this guidebook, by the way, is actually very nice too. So let's look at that first a little bit. First off, there's a forward. It even gives you like when the forward was written, which is in 2020. Goes straight into the contents, and as you can see here, there's an introduction, preparing for a reading, effective layouts and spreads, and then it goes straight into the card meanings. So that's like pretty typical. But the intro, as you can see, it was very nice, actually. I did read the intro. And then the spreads are really cool, actually, too. So this is one spread, another spread, and yeah, and then it goes into the elements. And but look at this. So for every card, you first off, it's a colored thing here. So you get the full card illustration. You get the title of the card, and it even shows you the keywords that are also on the card, and then it goes into this whole thing about the card. It even gives you, if you're someone who's more witchy, I guess, you would also like this deck because it actually gives you spells in here too. I'm not really much more as this currently in my practice, but I feel like if you're someone who does like that kind of thing, then yeah, this deck will be good for you. But as you can see, it also goes into this for every single card, and they're split up by the elements. So that's also very, very neat. Now, the only thing I will say about this deck, well, no, there's two big things I want to talk about with this deck that I need to point out just in general, because especially if you guys have seen some of my more recent videos, you'll know. First thing, this deck, I'm trying to see if it says, where is it? Oh yeah, it says it right there. This deck only has 36 cards. So for an Oracle deck, I'm going to be honest, that's kind of small. I don't like that. I wish creators would at least do, I don't know, at least 50 cards, but not all do, whatever. This deck's only 36, so that's one flaw. The other flaw in this deck is that I have very mixed feelings about this card stock, okay? That's the other thing. Now, rock pool, in my mind, I'll be honest here, sorry. I'm not normally a fan of rock pool card stock. They do this thing where they produce decks that have this really nasty, glossy card stock I'm not a fan of. This deck, interestingly enough, does not have that glossy card stock. So that's actually probably why I picked it up. But even touching this deck, as you can see, it's like, I don't know, it's okay, but it's not like the greatest cardstock in the world. It like borders on being that nasty cereal box texture I hate, but it's slightly less abrasive, so it's more like papery feeling than like nasty. I don't know how else to explain that. So it's usable for me, but I just want to point out, if you're someone who cares about the cardstock like I do, that you're not getting into this with, like, again, finding the greatest cardstock in the world. But if you are someone who doesn't like glossy cardstock, then I think you will enjoy this deck. But anyways, we're going to get into the cards today. And then I have one deck to show you, only one at the very end, because I believe it's perfect pair. I found already it's perfect pair. I'm not going to show any other. So let's get into the cards. So card number 1 here, we're in the element of earth. Card number, and they're color coded, by the way. See? They're color coded. So when it's all scrambled up, it looks like it'll probably look much nicer. But anyways, card number 1 is Ancestors, and it says family, survival, death, and worship. Now, I'm not going to read all the keywords on the bottom. What I do think is interesting, though, is that, you also have the number title. You get at least a title, and you get some keywords. So I feel like this format will appeal to a lot of people. I personally like at least a little bit less of keywords on the bottom, but they look small enough where I might not notice them and they might not feel too overwhelming in reading. So I'll have to find out. But anyways, this card number 1. This is Ancestors. 2 is Ancient Amulets. Very cool, right? Then we have Banyan Blessings. Earth Mother. Gnomes. I love how it says gnomes, but let's be honest here. That pretty much looks like hobbits in the Shire. I don't know what it is with that, but it does. So this is gnomes. Now this next one, okay, I've heard people refer to this by a few different names. I've heard people who've said Hecate. I've heard people who say Hecate. I've heard people who said Hecate. I don't know what's technically correct. And I'm just going to say, I don't know, Hecate or Hecate, I guess. Hecate's path or Hecate, I guess. I don't know. I've heard a lot of confusion with this. Anyways, next one, Herbal Craft. Hidden Familiars. Vervain Everlasting. And then I believe this is the element of, let me just check here, but oops, sorry. Everything's like flying around here. Pretty sure this is the element of air, but I want to double check. Yep, we're an element of air. Just double checking. It's air. Yeah, but it's just the traditional elements. Okay. So now we're an element of air. We have Astral Travels. Songbirds. Levitation. Mugwort Dreams. Sylphs. That's kind of interesting too. Oh yeah, Secret Seances, which is kind of an interesting one also. This has a lot of interesting ones. And by the way, I was also attracted to this deck because I do like the artwork. It is a little, I don't know, it's just a style I like. And it's a perfect, again, it's going to be a perfect pair with the deck I'm going to show at the end. But this is Secret Seances. Telekinesis. Mantra Medicine. Raising Winds. This card especially is really cool. I love the way it looks. Then we go into the element of fire. We have Jinn. Snakeskin. Now this I don't quite know how to pronounce. I'm not 100% on this, but this makes me think Baraka maybe. Drawing down the sun. Oh, this one's also very pretty. Salamander. Voden Roots. I think that's how you'd say. I'm not sure 100% on this one either, but I appreciate that some, even though this deck barely has people, appreciate there was some diversity in this. Oh, now this one I thought was interesting. I actually looked this up in the guidebook too because I didn't know much about this figure, but this is Brigid, and I guess she's connected to a lot of Celtic stuff. So it's kind of interesting that she's in here. But I was just reading the little entry about her because I just didn't know, especially because there's also number included, and I don't know much about like angel numbers or numerology or anything like that. But yeah, she's in there. And then we have Burning Man. We have Pyrokinesis. Oh, and yeah, that's the last one of the fire. Okay. And by the way, these backs are also really nice. I like them. Next. This is our last element. Last cards of the deck. We're into water. We have Belladonna Visions. Drawing down the moon. I do like that this is paralleling the other card, remember, which is talking about the sun. We also have the moon, so that's good. There's at least that balance. Oh, this is pretty too. Hollowed Heart. Definitely different. That's kind of cool. We have Florida Waters, which is interesting that Florida is included. I don't know what about Florida is supposed to be interesting and different, but kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. Mirror Magic. Opening Circle. Ocean's Muse, which is also stunning. I love the way this jellyfish has been done. Closing Circle, so at least we have opening and closing. And then the last card, Witch's Wounds, and it has, of course, all the elements here. This is so beautiful. So yeah, that's a quick one because again, this was only 36 cards. Pure Magic Oracle though, this is a mass market. So yes, it's only 36, which is annoying, but at the same time, it's not that bad. And you know, as you can see, I only overhand shuffle. These are standard Oracle size, so I have smaller hands. They are a little hard for me. But I can kind of barely get around them. I feel like if I go more from the top, though, it's definitely easy. And because the deck is, again, smaller in quantity of cards, it actually is easy to do it from the top. So, not bad. Not bad at all. I was shocked by this one. I had never seen it around, and then it was just there, and I was like, what? What is this? You know, like I feel like I tend to know these when decks have come out well enough. Like I've seen other people, or at least somebody would have talked about him, but nobody had. So I feel like this is one of those under the radar decks, you know? It's a nice kind of surprise. But you guys might be curious, what do I think is this deck's perfect pair? Like, because normally with the oracles, when I've been showing them lately, I've been showing you tarot decks I think go well with them. But I think I already found the one that goes well with this. So I don't need to faff about very much. And you guys want to see what that deck is? The Lighted Window Tarot. This is literally the perfect pair to this. I like gasped. I couldn't believe how beautiful. how beautifully well that these two would go together. This is an indie deck. This is mass market. This is indie. This is a tarot deck that I backed on Kickstarter this past year and got it this year. But let me show you how I know that these two are perfect pairs. Well, first off, let's look at the backs. Very beautiful. And even by just looking, by the way, at the backs of this deck, you can tell they have like a same kind of digital quality to them. That's nice, like digital art. So these go already just by looking at the backs of this deck, okay? But then you look at the actual colors of this deck, and as you can see, these colors go really, really nice together. These are literally the perfect pair because it's just like so good. I think it's because of this deck. Again, it's like similar styles and how things were drawn, but it's also a similar way that these two have colored, the way they decide to go with color. And by the way, oh my God, I guess. So this card, the strength card here, let me see if I can find it. Because this, as you can see, I didn't shuffle this a great job. Where's that? Ah, here we go. Gasped, gagged. Look at how, what? Strength and telekinesis. Look at them. They're vibing. They're doing a thing. What is happening? They just go so nicely together. I don't know. I don't know how, like, look at this. Look at how beautiful. Get out of here. It's just, it's the perfect pair. I'm sorry. If you had the lighted window tarot and you were like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to pair this with. It's this deck. You paired with this deck, okay? Like, I don't think you're going to regret it. These two are beautiful together. Like, look at this. I don't know. They're just, oh, closing circle with the tower. What? Temperance with witch's wounds. Like, oh my God. The colors. They are vibing. Here for this, okay? This is what you need in your life. Why am I mean, yeah, not everyone will like the lighted window because as you can see, this is a pip deck, but come on, this is a beautiful pip deck. And if you need a pip deck that you need something to pair it with that'll have more weight, so this oracle is a good idea. Cause look at them. They're going together. I don't know. They're the perfect pair. So I was gasped. Or gagged, I mean, when I came home after buying this deck being like, oh, this is so beautiful. And then I saw it and looked like, man, what would I pair this with? And then realized that these two, look at this. Shut up. Look at this. Beautiful. This is all that needs to be said, okay? So good. So good. So, yeah. Maybe this is like a video where I also beg people to get the lighted window tarot. I don't know. But yeah, so good. And I'm like pleasantly, I'm just pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what the hell to expect. Sometimes you go into a store, like trying to explore like mass market or whatever decks, and you're just like, but I know they're not, some of these are not as good as indies, but this was like a pleasant surprise that I'm glad I got a hold of. So I just wanted to share it today. So yeah, this is a quicker video, but if you were watching, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed seeing this new, well, not new, but at least like hopefully this will be new to you, mass market oracle deck. So yeah. Until next time, I will peace out. Bye.